Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Narlock. Welcome to the very first episode of the Minnesota Music Podcast, where we bring in local Minnesota songwriters and we talk to them about their music, upcoming projects, and have them do a short acoustic set. Our first guest today is Ryan Knight. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Honored to be number one.
Thanks for
It's
making
the first time in my life I've ever been number one, so this is pretty great for me.
You made it through 2020.
So parts of me did.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Did you do anything last year? Did you do any shows or
maybe at the beginning
before
of the
the
year.
lockdown?
Yeah. So when did that? March, April,
Something like that. Yeah.
So
We got
all
some stuff
through, man. All through January, we were planning a big year record coming out, shows accompanying that, and then kaboosh.
Bam.
Yeah.
It all exploded.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh well. We got a bigger year coming this year. You're releasing a record, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Again, all that depends
on the situation.
Right. I'm not even telling people dates because how do you know at this point? So.
I did the same thing last year. I was like, well, it should be over by then, we should be out this summer, and yeah.
Jeffrey Narlock of Northridge, of course.
Yes.
What a group.
Yeah.
Love you
we
guys.
Try.
I honestly haven't listened to it as much as I should, but every time our mutual friend will show me something, I love it. So.
Well, thank you.
Yes, 1,000 Ryan Knight Northridge shows coming in 2027 when
For
the
sure.
world comes back.
When everything's back to normal. So how long have you been doing music, writing music? And
honestly, I played a lot longer than I wrote. I think I played in high school. I was a pretty sweet jazz trumpet player when I was a
Is
youth.
that going to be featured on the record? Or?
Absolutely not. I don't think I could play a major scale anymore. But that was the music thing. My grandma was really musical. Mm-hmm. She did whenever my sister and I would stay at her house, she would put us to sleep. She'd go play old hymns, which was like really soothing and a good memory as a kid. So I think that's where the music thing came from. Mm-hmm. My parents certainly. Well, no, that's not true. My mom played in the Wyoming Youth Orchestra. Apparently, Wyoming has a youth orchestra. She's a French horn player. So music was always there.
Are you from Wyoming then?
No, she's from Casper. I'm from a small town called Mapleton, Iowa, way out on the west side. Mm-hmm. So I had to drive 45 minutes to see a movie. It's cornfields. And
Jeez.
That's about it. So it's a nice, wholesome upbringing, though. So
nice.
It was just a little, the city was a big change.
Yeah. When did you move to Minneapolis?
I moved in the fall of 2016. I was just getting done with school, and I was like, I was a finance major, and I was like, man, this is not very rock and roll. I was like, let's just do this until I can't anymore, and then I'll get a real job. And then now it's too late for that. I'm totally into this and
full musician. That's
for
awesome.
The foreseeable future. Well, nice. Yeah, until they kick me out.
Yeah.
But no, music-wise, anyway, I forgot to answer your question. I basically started getting serious about guitar probably when I was 14. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to be cool in high school. And then from there, it was always something I was like, wouldn't that be sweet if I could do music?
Yeah.
And then my mom and my sister were like, well, you can, do it.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
You can do it.
It's a thing. It's a very difficult thing to do and be sustainable, but they're like, you can, go do it. And it's like, really? I figured you'd be the ones pushing me to get that real job.
Yeah, get a real job.
Yeah. So we have a mutual friend who I knew through my sister works with his brother, one of those things. And then that's why I moved to Minnesota, was just because he was up here. So.
Oh, okay.
Our mutual friend Dan Derlo. There's no story behind my music without him attached to it. So
we're gonna be talking about Dan Derlo a lot.
Yeah, I figured so. So 2016, I moved downtown. I met a lot of cool musicians down there. Just really awesome. Like, what a music scene up here that no one really talks about outside of Minneapolis. There's a lot.
Well, now we have this podcast we're going to be talking about.
Exactly.
So.
It's about time, honestly. It's long overdue. So, I now live north of St. Paul, a little more peaceful, a little longer drive to shows, but it's all good. So, having fun.
Yeah?
I mean, outside of the lockdown, but
Yeah.
I was having fun.
Yeah. What type of music do you listen to? It seems like you're more on the folky side and
That's a common misconception. No, it is. My first, like, as a fan of music, I don't know if some people just casually listen to a lot of artists. If I find one, I need to know like what their parents' names are, and like I want to know everything behind why they sound the way they do. My number one thing is genuine with my music and with stuff I like. Like it's super genuine always.
Yeah.
So the first love was Tom Petty, and that's like the be all end all for me.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be Tom Petty.
Yeah, we can definitely hear your influence.
Yeah, that's a big one for me. I was listening to Wildflowers driving over here, so that was high school, hanging out with my friends. Like we listened to Full Moon Fever and Wildflowers just all the time. And then I got really into this rock band in New Jersey called the Gaslight Anthem. Then I get into like more punk rock kind of stuff, like Jersey stuff. So that got me into Springsteen, and then from there, I got really into. Then I came around to the folk stuff, and then it was the Avett Brothers.
Yeah,
love them. That's like how I learned how to properly finger pick, was watching Seth Avett play. And then so that was a big thing for me. And then contemporary guys, I love Jason Isbell. Everyone calls me Jason as a joke because I cover songs all the time. He's such the peak of songwriting out there right now, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a big one for me. So all of that kind of, there's rock and roll. I'm always pushing for more. Producers always trying to pull me back.
Yeah.
Folk, Americana. That's the word.
Yeah, Americana.
That's the word.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing. Like, so your Sessions EP you released last year was very more acoustic. Like, but then I remember Dan actually showed me some of your songs and they had a little bit more to them. So what can we expect from your album when you release it? Is it going to be more like the Sessions EP with like the picking acoustic stuff, or are you going to dive into rock more?
There's both. So the ballads are really bare when it serves the song to be that way. I love that. I have such a weird amalgamation of interests. Like I love just the one guitar and a lonesome cowboy thing. That gets me. And then also I love rock songs, man. The first time I heard Neil Young play Ohio, I was like, what is that sound? I was like a little kid. I was like, I want to do that. So there's bits of both. There's some fuzzy, crazy guitars and big rock stuff, but then when the time's right, it all kind of strips away. I love artists that can do both too. So that was the thing. I was like, I want to be able to do both. And then eventually at a live show, I love the idea of taking it from like just hard on your ears to making someone cry. Yeah. Actually, if nobody cries at a Ryan Knight show, I feel like I've failed as my job. Yeah.
It's your job.
Yeah. So
that's what they pay you for.
So both, the EP was live sessions that were all kind of stripped down, which I love doing that too. But no, the album will have more of that, but definitely some edge, which I'm excited about.
What instrumentation? So electric guitar, are we talking?
Yeah, there's a lot of guitar in this thing. We had so much fun tracking it. We just camped out at the studio for a few days. And it turned into almost a week. And we were just experimenting, and I was running home and bringing over pedals. I confess I'm a huge pedal nerd and amp nerd. For like as average of a guitar player I am, I'm really into gear, which doesn't make sense. Maybe that does make sense. It's probably, that explains a lot about how I'm average. The more gear you have, the more you're covering.
Yeah, the better you sound.
So a ton of guitar. Honestly, the drums were pretty simple, even for the rock stuff. But we cut out so much guitar because there was so much.
You can overdo it with electric guitar, that's for sure.
Big time. And we had some like crazy distorted pedal steel stuff that just sounds like slide guitar and really hung over everything. Yeah. So it's honestly, the mixing process will be a lot of just removal. Yeah. But
electric guitar, pedal steel, obviously acoustic.
Yeah, a ton of acoustic. We just had some mandolin put on. A little banjo, more to come. We're working on some string quartet, hopefully.
Wow.
For certain stuff. Yeah, so it'll be, a lot of stuff going on, but at the root of everything is like a simple 4-piece, you know.
Yeah.
And geez, I'm trying to think what other fancy stuff we did. I mean, we did a little stuff with like some little toy synthesizer stuff, like Dan calls the sexy spice. You got to add that kind of stuff in there just to be weird. I'm pretty sure one song involves him banging on a door frame because that was the sound. I was in the room and he's walking around hitting stuff. Like, what about that?
What would this sound like?
Yeah, it's like, you think this would be cool in the
we'll
mix?
sample it.
yeah, like throwing all the producer words out. So, there's boot stomps, clamps, and all that traditional Americana stuff too. It's
sweet.
I'm not reinventing the wheel, but I'm excited about the project for sure.
Yeah. So artists you draw the most inspiration from, it sounds like Tom Petty would be.
It's really where it starts and ends with me.
Yeah.
I can't emphasize how much people make fun of me for just harping on Jason Isbell.
Yeah.
His record Southeastern. I really struggle to find new music, and I don't know why. I only find it when like someone I like mentions them.
Yeah.
So
then you go and find them.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, if I like them, they like them. I must, So, I think his Southeastern record was just. I was like, okay, this is a whole nother level. He does not write bad songs, or if he does, no one hears him.
Yeah.
I choose to believe everything he writes is just great. So, that's a big, like a modern Americana influence that's doing it and doing it right. I think so. I really like what Dave Cobb does in Nashville. All the records he does, Stapleton, Isabel, all those guys, love it.
Mm-hmm. So I know with myself, when I have to write a bunch of bad songs to write some good songs. Do you have that same thing where you write some songs and then it kind of flexes your muscles a little bit and gets you into it?
Sometimes sometimes you have to go. For me, you have to go through the process of finishing the bad ones because you can't put it away.
Yeah, you do.
My brain can only do one thing at a time. Yeah. It's weird. I will say I've never written a bad song in less than 15 minutes. Those are always the good ones. I don't know why.
Yeah,
they just,
exactly.
Three Ghosts is a song that I think a lot of people would agree is the best song I've written, and I have no quarrel with that whatsoever. And that one was just. It just.
Those are always the best songs.
Yeah, it's. I think Willie Nelson said if one doesn't come out in 10 minutes, he throws it out. He doesn't. He never comes back to it. But then our mutual friend Dan, he taught me so much about writing songs and not to throw stuff out or to take an idea and make a whole new song about it. He's like, you can't make a song good because it has one idea, but you can take one good idea and make a good song off of that. If that's your jumping point, you can do a lot more with it. So I can't tell you how many times I bring him an idea, we'd throw out 90% of it, and then we'd sit down and write something that was better than whatever the original thing was gonna be. So he was a big part of the writing process with me.
Oh, okay.
But I'd say probably 30-40% of the songs are some percentage of him.
Is he the only co-writer, or did you have anybody else?
No, just him.
Just him?
Just him. A lot of them were needed a lot of work. I was coming in very green when I met him. I'm surprised he agreed to work with me. Where I was in the fall of 2016 when I moved up here. So we took a long time learning. He made me take guitar lessons. I mean, he made me get to be professional about what we do, So, he taught me a lot about it, I can't believe I'm giving this guy this much credit, too. I hope he never hears this.
Yeah. I'll hide it from him when I post it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So it seems like especially with like Three Ghosts and stuff, a lot of your songs are like short stories. What inspires you to write those type of songs? Is there like people in your life that you draw inspiration from? Is it from your own life?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. That song specifically, which I'll play for you later, was just a lot of like fears and doubt. I struggle with a lot of that stuff. So, and I think a lot of people do, which goes back to I want to be genuine and relatable. That's like, I don't care if I play well or sing on key, but if someone understands what I'm trying to say to them and I can look them in the eyes when I'm up there, remember looking people in the eye when you're playing? That feels like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's it for me. That's why I love doing this. So, yeah, that song, it's all personal. But going back to Isabel, he has a song, a couple songs that are just brutal ballads, short stories that are he's admitted are totally fake.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I was always afraid of doing that because I was like, it's not genuine.
Yeah.
You know, and like seeing a guy like him do it and then be genuine, you know, it's like, I guess it's just a story. It doesn't have to be true to be really good and impactful.
For people to relate to it, yeah.
Yeah, so he's great at that, and I've tried to do that more, but it's easier for me to you know, I'm not gonna Taylor Swift people and put names in songs or anything. I never do that. But every situation comes from something.
Yeah.
And usually it's a lot of things. But I'm trying to learn how to write fake stories. It's tough. It's harder for me. So.
Yeah, I think I've heard a Jason Isbell song that's about murder, so I really hope it's fake.
Me too. Me too, because I think he's got a lot more good records than him, and I'd hate to see that catch up with him.
Yeah, really.
But what a great song, Live Oak. Yeah. I mean,
I remember thinking it was awesome, and I was like,
yeah, it's like, holy cow.
Where do you find the inspiration for this?
Well, just start an acoustic ballad by just singing, like, it caught me off guard, and I loved it. So, yeah. I'm gushing about him, but that's why people tease me about it.
So what's your favorite song you've written so far?
Oh, boy. That's tough. I can't decide if it's one of those that, like, Three Ghosts that just came out of the air, like they do sometimes, or it's one that I really slaved over to work. Yeah. Honestly, I think my favorite is this song, and at this point, this album is called Strangers, just because it has a lot to do with relationships and your relationship with yourself or a loved one or a lover, and the weird, all the stuff that goes on in between. There's a lot of layers to that, and almost every song has something to do with that. The song Strangers I wrote originally. My dad passed in 2018, or sorry, 2016. Geez. You know, he had he got sick and we lost him quite quickly.
Jeez.
And it was right before I moved to Minnesota. It was probably one of the catalysts between, like, deciding to, okay, go live and do this thing, you know. So I wrote this I didn't want to do that, you know, but it just kind of happened, and then I brought it to Dan. He's like, this is a horrible song. It's like, we can't. I almost refused to record this. It's like, okay, fair enough. I would love to have Dan come on this podcast, by the way. I would love to.
Special guest appearance.
Yes, I would. Well, I would just love to hear his side of this, because that's pretty much how it went down. Yeah. He's like, listen, this is. I know this means a lot to you. You know, you lost a parent, and it was the idea of someone not knowing you now, like a lot of regrets about how they knew you. I was a little brat sometimes growing up, and you have so many regrets as you get older, and you're like, okay, I'm a man now. Like, wow, I wish we could have a beer and talk about it.
For sure.
That kind of thing. And I wrote this song kind of about that, and he's like, no, this is really bad. And then I went home and then I wrote Strangers after that. And that's why it's good having someone like Dan who just pushes you. And I think that became my favorite song on the record. No one's heard that one. That one's, I think I'm going to save that one.
You're saving it for the record?
Yeah. But I think that
So did the previous song, did that influence the Stranger song then? Or is there parts of the previous song that you put in the Strangers?
No. I still have it. Like, I still like it.
Yeah. It's just for you.
Yeah. And, I go home and, I'll sit around and play for my mom and my sister. And they always want me to play it. But I don't know if that one's ever going to get recorded. Yeah. But yeah, that one is a totally different song. And it was just, but the feelings and where it comes from is exactly the same, which is really cool. But it sounds nothing like. But it's a way better song now. And
same type of message you're saying. Yeah. You got the point across a little differently.
Yeah, different sound. Yeah, I'm proud of that one because I didn't put it down, even though I initially didn't want to write it at all. I didn't put it down, and obviously it's very meaningful to me. But also think it could also be the best song I've ever written. I'm excited to keep that one a secret too. I can't wait for people to hear it, but yeah, I'm not gonna do anything with that one until I think the album comes out. So. Yeah. To answer your question in a very long way, I think Strangers would be.
Strangers. Are you a lyric first or melody first person?
Melody.
Melody?
Almost always.
Yeah.
I usually pick around on the guitar and whatever I'm picking as a melody kind of, and I just hum until something starts to happen. I usually start with an idea, but it's, I have a phone list that I'm sure everyone does, miles long, of where I'm just somewhere and some line hits me. I'm like, and then I hear the whole song in a flash, and then I write it down, and then I never look at it again. There's so much in my phone like that.
Yeah.
And now, when you get a new phone, you can transfer all your old stuff over. So there's like years.
Just lyrical thought.
Just lyric. And like, again, it's like a flash. Like there's the song. It's like, there it is. And then it's gone forever.
Yeah.
And I look.
You got to get it right then.
I know. You really do. And I do. And if I go back through my phone and look at it, it's like, what is this? This makes no sense. But at the time, I was like, this is it. This is one.
I do that with melodies. I come up with melodies just randomly, like driving or something, and the voice memo thing saves me, and I can record it on my voice memos real quick. And
I should do that. I have a little bit of that, but that's me. Not as I wouldn't call myself a guitar player. I make noise on the guitar. Yeah. That's me like jamming in my basement. And then I'll say to Danny's like, I guess it's okay. It's like a 30-second snip of me like badly soloing. Like, what do you think about this?
Tons of distortion.
Yeah, like just a horrible tone. No, I've got great tone for the record.
What's your favorite part about being an artist? Is it writing, performing, or recording, or is it the variety of them all?
Oh, well, they all kind of feed into each other, but I think performing. I always cut loose more than I should for an solo acoustic act, or sometimes I'll have a guitar player playing with me, and eventually there will be a band. But no, I always get way too excited and jumping around more than I should be.
So this is torture for you then?
No, this is new. I haven't formed an opinion about it yet.
No, I'm talking about like 2020, not being able to do shows for a full year.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've almost finished YouTube just watching like live concerts of people. Jeez. I love recording too. That's fun for me. It's most of the time. Like we usually do really long sessions because it's a drive to get out there, so we try to get as much done as we can. And it's like the first 6 hours are awesome, especially if we're doing guitar.
Yeah.
It's what I know more about, and it's the most fun for me to do. So that's great. About hour 7, 8, I'm pretty burned out. And I'm just kind
that's a long day, man.
It is, and then knowing that I'm crashing there and waking up tomorrow to work more. Yeah. That's it gets tough, but it's always working with good people, so that makes it a lot easier. But what was the third thing? Writing. That is by far my least favorite thing.
Oh, really?
It's not like an enlightening, musically spiritual experience for me. It's like, okay, I got to get a song done. Yeah. I'm going through the wars to do this. It's never been a graceful process for me, ever. It's always a struggle. It feels so good when you get it right, but man, it's...
So is Dan the first person you always show your songs to pretty much? Is he the person you go to right away, or do you have other people that you bring to and you're like, is this good?
I have other people. I don't like to show stuff before it's done a lot. So I have a couple close friends that I will bounce sync off of that I met through a really good community that I got to plug after I answer your question. But yeah, it's usually Dan, and it's usually like a version 2 because he says what he thinks and he's almost always right about it. But which I appreciate. But it's like I don't want to have my confidence destroyed today, so I'm going to make sure I edit before I get to him. And there's always going to be something.
I feel like that's always a tough thing to do because some songs you're so vulnerable and it's tough to bring to somebody.
That was Strangers V1. Version 1. That was, that song got pretty much tossed. Yeah. And I fought for it too. Yeah. But it was the right move, and it's hard when it matters to you. And, talking so much about writing with him, it's hard to let someone edit. Yeah. At first. I can't even imagine if I was a producer, how many, someone that works with you like he does. Like he doesn't just charge you by the hour and record your music. Like he nurtures you as an
He becomes
artist.
A part of it and everything.
Absolutely. His fingerprints are on all his records. And Yeah, so I would imagine it's how many times he's had to convince people to let him help, you know, not overtake, but just he does a great job of showing you how to deliver your music to people better. And once you trust him with that, then it gets easier. But it's still tough with the emotional ones, which if anyone knows anything about me, it's mostly emotional. So it's tough to get used to, but now I almost look forward to it. So, because again, I wish I could say I love writing and I live to write songs, but man, it's sometimes it's a struggle.
St. Paul Brewery. That's the place where you shot that video, right?
Yeah.
Was that last year? No, it could have been.
That was oh my God.
2 years ago.
That was 2 summers ago.
That video turned out really well. I really liked it.
Wow.
What was shooting that like? Because it was nighttime and
it was like
you're in like some alley somewhere.
Yeah, it was. Well, if you've never been there, it's St. Paul Brewing now. It used to be called Flat Earth. Now it's St. Paul Brewing. They were super cool. I just walked in at like 5 p.m. You know, no one's there. It's like they have so it's an old Ham's factory or a grain belt factory. So it's this giant building. I think they only use like 10% of it, and it's all crumbling down. There must have been a fire or something. So it's like, okay, this place is born to shoot music videos. So we loved their courtyard as an idea, but we knew there was going to be some serious logistical issues doing this outside. But they were really cool about letting us rent the place, and like Tim Torapor is an awesome video guy. So,
and did he do your other ones too?
He did. And between you and me and every person listening to this, I got so much better at it. The production value went up so much at the brewery compared to that first session. Things we needed to do before we even knew this was going to be an EP. This was just content, you know, video stuff. But he did them both. So great to work with him. So the brewery was really cool. I mean, we showed up, the people were nice. They brought us out a couple of growlers, which might not have been the best idea for trying to do one take.
Yeah.
You know? I think the best take we covered that Petty song, Crawling Back to You.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't recording. They're like, all right, why don't you guys warm up quick, you know? I think we rehearsed for like a few days in what is going to be Dan's new studio. At the time was just pretty much a shed, you know? So it was a very bootstraps kind of DIY project, but it turned out great. I really like those. So
you've only released the one. Are you going to release? Is there more videos coming from that?
Yeah, there's 2 more. We did a song of mine called Anna's Song, and then we did another cover on there. We did Ohio. Like I was saying earlier, like the first time I heard that riff at the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, I should be a rock and roll artist. And it was fun to have Ethan Morvek and Mark Ellers play with me there. That was great. Ethan did an outstanding job for really just having met me at the time. So it was fun to have those guys, and really, really happy with those videos. Yeah. So, and then all that audio, you know, we eventually decided to just turn into the EP because people kept asking to listen to stuff, which is good. I just didn't have anything to offer them.
Did the EP come out last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
April 13th.
So it was nice to have something to release this year with.
Right? No, it's just nice now if you know, people ask, can I listen to you? Like, I used to have to say no, and it's like, I've been doing this long enough to where like I need to have something.
Yeah, something out there.
Because we are working on this huge project. You know, we're actually recording 2 albums at Dance.
Wow.
So we're hoping to have, well, I mean, give or take, I'm hoping to have 20 songs done before this first one comes out.
So you can release them both. Are you doing like back-to-back years or?
Probably not. I want to get as much mileage out of one as I can before the other one. Plus, every time we finish something, I'm better now. So then going back, you know, I can't wait to write the 3rd record because I know it'll be better. I'll think it's better.
Yeah.
So it's a big project, and it was time to get something out for him. So we thought that was a good idea to do, and it's worked out well.
So the next question was, we kind of already talked about COVID a little bit, but do you have plans for any shows for this year?
I was gonna say,
we talked about this before.
What else are we gonna talk about?
Yeah. So probably not.
You know, I might do some live streaming stuff.
Yeah.
People have been doing that. A lot of my friends have. There is nothing planned because I just don't know, you know?
Yeah. And if you do plan something, it could change. So
If I do anything that will get me excited or hopeful, something bad will happen.
yeah,
Which a lot of bad has happened this
Yeah.
year, and it's just we're all trying to make it through. And
Yeah.
I think hopefully, what's the date today? It's 18th.
I don't know.
I think it is the 18th.
I'm off today, so I don't.
So hopefully, you have been off actually this whole time. I've been noticing that. So.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I was just kidding.
I should have had some of that coffee.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's keeps me going. That's for sure. Studio tool number 1. But no. So what's January 18th? So I mean, the whole thing just got delayed. It's very frustrating, but obviously necessary. And yeah, I don't have dates lined up for anything because again,
Can't really do it right now.
No, you really can't. You really can't.
So what are some of the your favorite venues you've played at so far?
Ooh, favorite show I ever did was actually not in Minnesota. Vaudeville Muse in Des Moines is a cool little club that has closed down, unfortunately, due to the virus.
Yeah.
Which is such a shame because what a legendary place. And this band Liz Cooper and the Stampede were coming through, and I just kind of contacted them out of the blue and see if they wanted an opener. I said, I'm from Iowa, I can get 20 people to come. Even though Des Moines is a bit of a drive for anyone I would know there, but I went to school in Ames, so it was close enough. And they, for whatever reason, said because Liz Cooper and St. Pete are pretty great, out of my league. And that was an awesome show. Just working with real pros and getting open with them, that was cool. That was a fun show. That was probably my favorite. In Minnesota, I love playing at Moto E, whether it's they do artist showcases there, they do a great open mic community there. Man, you can meet so many. This is Moto E in Uptown. You can meet so many amazing, talented people that just make you want to go home and get better. And the curator of that whole thing, JT Veely, has become a really good friend of mine up here and is such a good connection for me to play other places. But absolutely Moto E. I've gotten to play like songwriter showcases at the Astor Cafe. It's another pretty big step for local people to get to. I've never played a solo show there, but it's a really cool room to be in and play. And then the same owners, I believe, have the Hideaway a couple doors down. Love playing there too. Showcases on Wednesdays, local songwriter stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of good ones around there, but I'd say the Astor was really cool. Probably the coolest in the state.
Before the lockdown, how many shows were you thinking about? How many shows did you do a year?
Oh, it kept growing. Man, the first year I was up here, I was doing open mics and showcases and stuff like that. And then I started to gig a bit more, and it was like 10, 15. And then, this year was going to be the biggest year yet.
Yeah.
My goal was to hit 30 shows, which for me is, steady growth. But obviously that didn't happen. So hopefully 2021. And then, you got to try to grow that stuff before the record comes out and then book shows around it. Yeah. So it's going to be some tough logistics for me when that happens, because I lost a year of progression. Yeah. So we'll see.
Lost
because
the momentum.
The record's still coming because I can't wait any longer. Probably 2021 probably, or maybe this fall. Again, it depends on what happens and if we open stuff. I don't know. But I was planning for 30 this year, and I just didn't get it, obviously. So that was the goal.
Well, you ready to play a couple songs for us now?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right. My name is Ryan Knight. The song's called 3 Ghosts. There's a ghost around my bed most every morning. She looks like you. She looks like you. And she wears her hair like you before you married. Straight and true. Straight and true. And every night she watches while I dream, and whispers things inside my ear that make it hard to sleep. She knows your voice, she even knows your name. And if I was a lonely man, I'd say you were the same. I'd say you were the same. There's a ghost inside my head they call depression. He looks like me, he looks like me. And he uses things about me like a weapon, straight and true, straight and true. And every night he claws beneath my feet. He shows me things I should have done, lives that I could lead. Escitalopram just covers up the itch. And if I was a desperate man, I'd say that I was sick. I'd say that I was sick. There's a ghost around my friends that I call envy. Strong and mean, strong and mean. And he makes my weightless life feel awfully heavy. It's them and me, it's them and me. And every night he tells me I'm alone. And all the ones I care about have lovers of their own. If they leave with theirs, I'll be left behind. And if I was a desperate man, I'd say you're on my mind. I'd say you're on my mind. All right, the song's called If You Want It. There's a house built like a castle, and walls around the yard. That hill looked like a mountain in the valleys where I'm from. And to me you were an angel with a strong-handed dad. 12 gauge over under sent a warning through the lights of my Grand Am. Bless me with this curse. We made the best of all our worst. Every night I dream you're still riding next to me. If you wanted, you'd still be. Those other fellas had to fool you before you fell for me. I never had that much to give in a town full of homecoming kings. We paid in time and heartache. It was all that simple then. The world caught up, ran us down, and life settled in. Bless me with this curse. We made the best of all our worst. Every night I dream you're still riding next to me. If you wanted, you'd still be. I knew I had to leave here. I knew that you would stay. I left alone without you. I'm still alone today. But I can't help but wonder, we hadn't let it go. You might be here next to me, but that was then. I guess I'll never know.